This is the Wuben X3 Owl Everyday Carry Ultralight flashlight. It is so smartly designed with some really cool features that makes this little guy useful in just about any situation. You've got to see the details. Hello everyone and welcome to Handheld Light Reviews. Today I've got a prototype of the Wuben X3 that Wuben just sent me to show you. It is currently available for crowdfunding on Kickstarter and is the fourth crowdfunding project that Wuben has done. Now as I make this video, the campaign has only about 10 days to go, but it has almost 3,000 people supporting it with almost $250,000 raised. So it is definitely going to be in production with an expected release date of July 2023. So at any point, click on the links in the description below to either join the Kickstarter campaign or to buy it directly, depending on when you watch this video. Now, before I go any further, it's really important to say again that this is a prototype. It is not the final version, so what actually gets produced may differ slightly. This is the X3 Lite, the charging box, the lanyard, and the manual. Let's take a quick look, starting with the manual. So I'm quite sure that the manual that gets released in the production version will be different because it says right there that it is a prototype, but just to give you an idea of what you can expect, it covers everything you need to know about how to use it. I'm going to cover most of that today, but just know you're going to get a very thorough manual when you buy yours. Now let's take a look at the X3 itself. The body is made from CNC polycarbonate to keep the weight down. And as you can see, it is translucent, which is kind of cool, and there's a nifty reason for that, and I'll show you later. The head, on the other hand, is aluminum, which houses the emitters and the controls. Just for size comparison, I'm going to compare it to the X0, the X2, and the X1. I've already reviewed the X0 on this channel, so check that out if you want to. And I will be reviewing and testing the X2 and X1 in the future, so keep your eyes open for that. The dimensions of the X3 body, 70 millimeters long, or 2.76 inches, 35 millimeters wide, or 1.38 inches, and 21 millimeters tall, or 0.83 inches, weighs 70 grams, or 2.47 ounces. Switching over to the charging box, it's 85 millimeters or 3.35 inches long, 47 meters or 1.85 inches wide, and 50 millimeters or 1.5 inches tall with a weight of 102 grams or 3.6 ounces. So back to the X3, it definitely feels like plastic because, well, that's what it's made of here, except for the head again, which is aluminum. And it will feel a little strange if you're used to all metal flashlights, but it does feel tough, just not the same kind of tough that metal does. And it is tough. It's drop resistant for up to 1 meter and is IP65 waterproof. Now, I don't know how close to a production version this prototype is, but this one here that I have in my hands definitely feels very finished overall. Now you do have two choices of light sources. You can have it with two Osram P9 LEDs with a combined 1200 lumens and 151 meters for the dual white version on the highest turbo level, or white with red like this one, and this has a Samsung LH351D which has up to 700 lumens for 30 seconds and then steps down to 200 lumens for up to 1.5 hours and has a 102 meter throw. But it also does have higher CRI than the two Osram P9 version for better color representation. And instead of the second light, the white and red version has a red light with up to 80 lumens output on its turbo mode for 30 seconds and then steps down to 30 lumens for up to 2 hours. And I think the red light is a pretty smart option for this one as it is useful for night vision, wildlife viewing, doesn't attract bugs as much, all the good uses that red LED lights have in a flashlight. And both versions have multiple lighting modes including low, medium, high, turbo, strobe, and SOS, which I will show you later after I charge it up, and both have a maximum runtime of 50 hours on the lowest setting thanks to a built-in 1000 milliamp an hour battery. I'm going to show you the spec chart here if you want to pause this video and review all of it. And the current colors on Kickstarter are black, glacier blue, camo green, and white like I have here. Now there is an optional aluminum charging box that was a Kickstarter stretch goal once they hit $100,000, which was met in less than 3 days. The aluminum offers higher quality and a little bit more durability and craftsmanship. The one thing that is awesome to note about the white version is that it also glows in the dark, which I think is really, really cool, and I know that a lot of you watching this will think is pretty cool as well. Sometimes it can be a bit comedic and ironic to drop a black flashlight in the dark when it's not turned on and not be able to find it, but you don't have to worry about that with the white X3. And there's so much more going on with this thing. As you might have noticed, there's magnets on the base here and here, and it does have a clip for hands-free operation on a back strap or on the bill of your hat, and it is kind of wide if you want to attach it to MOLLE panels. And right here, check this out, it has a rotating head. So when you do clip it onto something vertical like a backpack strap, you can project the light to where you want it. I think this is pretty cool, and once you have it in this configuration, you can see why they call it the Owl. I also wonder if Wuben didn't make the magnets on the base look like two little feet for the same reason. However, I also thought that it kind of looks like Johnny Five the Robot from the movie Short Circuit. It has a digital display here. It's kind of tiny, but I'll show you all the details in just a little bit. Now notice that there's no charging port anywhere on this unit, but you do see this. It has a wireless charging coil just like a cell phone. So that means you can use a common cell phone charging pad like this one, or if your car has one, well, you can use that too. So what if you don't have any of this handy for whatever reason? Well, let's take another look at the charging box. This is the polycarbonate version, not the aluminum upgrade version that I mentioned. But what you do is you just drop the X3 in it, and then hit the button. Charging indicators on the left, power indicators on the right, and then what you can do is just drop the diffuser lens over it, and you can have a completely different light pattern. And you can see that it's charging just like that. And on top of that, the charging box also acts as a 3000 milliamp power bank, so you can use it to charge other things like your cell phone. So how do you charge the charging box? Well, let's check out the lanyard. This is the lanyard that it comes with, but it also doubles as a charging cable that you use to charge the charging box or use it to charge something else with the charging box, as it is that power bank that I mentioned. You just remove this rubber cover right here and plug it in and attach the other end to whatever you want to charge or to use to charge this. And if you want to, you can charge both the charging box and the X3 inside it at the same time. And one more neat touch is that you can see that the inside of the lanyard has a scale for measuring fish, or so you can lie about it, whatever the case is. Just another nice touch that Wuben thought of. And that lanyard loops right here on the back of the charging case. So I'm going to do a full charge on both units, and then we'll see more details on how it operates. So now it's all charged up. Let me show you the lighting modes. The power switch is right here, and it's the only switch on the main unit. And a single click turns the white on, like that. And note that you can see the same blue light that you see when it's being charged. And you can turn that off by clicking the switch 5 times real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which you might want to do to conserve battery life. But when it is on, it also helps to charge up the glow-in-the-dark function on the white version. So while the light's on, you press and hold to cycle. And you can see the readout showing the differences here. And then you can double-click to jump to turbo. And then you can triple-click to get SOS. And it does remember your last setting except for SOS and turbo. Now to get the red light to trigger, you press and hold it when it's off. And there it's on. And then just like when it's the white mode, you press and hold to cycle low, turbo, and then SOS. Now playing around with this, I found out that you can actually have both at the same time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to triple click when it's off to get the white SOS. And then I'm going to click and hold to get the red to come on in the last state it was in, which it does remember SOS, unlike the white light. Here we go. I got SOS on in white, and then I press and hold, and it remembers the SOS in the red. Check that out, pretty cool. So I've got it back in the charging box here, and I want to show you how well the diffuser works. Pretty good. This would be great for using as a task light or a camping lantern or a tent light or a night light or whatever you want to use it for. So now that you've got a complete overview of this, I'm going to show you how bright it is in my basic controlled environment compared to the other flashlights that I've tested. And I'm going to use a lux meter and my lumen tube to see how it does, starting with the white low. About 8 or 9 lux. Let's go to medium. About 250, give or take, lux. Let's go to high. 580, 570, give or take. And let's do turbo. Woo, gets up there. 1800 almost. Starts to step down pretty quick. Again, this is a prototype. It may not step down so fast when the production version comes out. Let's take a look at red. On low, about the same, about 8 lux. And then on turbo for red, about 600, starting to drop pretty quick. But again, prototype. This is the white and red version. The dual white version will be brighter than this one, but you get the benefit of more realistic colors through higher CRI on the red and white one. Okay, let's see how the X3 Owl manages heat. Using my FLIR thermal camera on the turbo setting, you can see here in this time-lapse video that at around the 6-minute mark, it settles in at a toasty 141 degrees Fahrenheit or 60.6 degrees Celsius. And again, I cannot stress enough, this is a prototype that we're working with, so of course the production version may differ. But one thing that I really want to point out here is that because the body is made of polycarbonate and not metal like the head, it stays very, very cool to the touch. And this is especially important if you're going to be using this light on turbo over a long period of time. Okay, let's see how this looks outside at night. If you haven't seen this before, this is my backyard. You can see my fence and my chairs by my fire pit and all that. And beyond that are trees that are around 50 feet away, just on the other side of my creek. Now, as always, use the data that I provided earlier because your conditions will be different. And this is the turbo mode setting, which is 700 lumens for 30 seconds, and then it steps down to 200 lumens for 1.5 hours. Now, here you can see just barely the trees on the other side of my creek. And while it doesn't get picked up in the video, I could definitely see it with the naked eye. So it does pretty good on turbo mode. Now, in my previous videos, I've cycled through the different modes, showing you what they look like. But one of my viewers suggested that I use the highest available setting because lower setting visibility can be assumed and imagined based on the highest. So thanks for the feedback. I really appreciate it. And this is what you get. And here's red. This is on turbo, and this is 80 lumens. Not too bad. 25 feet to the fence, 50 feet to the trees beyond. I can see a little bit of the trees with my naked eye. It may not be picked up in the video. But for something this tiny, incredible. So now we get to my very favorite part. Let's see what it looks like in my creek. I gotta tell you, I do love the glow-in-the-dark feature of this one. Just very cool. And here we are on turbo. For a little tiny light, it does really, really good. You can see quite a distance for this. I lost a tree here just this past spring. Had to take care of it. The winds just blew it down. It's a shame. But take a look at how far you can see with this little teeny tiny light. And again, the camera can't pick up what the naked eye can. It goes a lot further than what you see. Creek is pretty low, which it normally does in the summertime. Again, I got it on turbo mode here, as you can see. almost wiped out there. I could just see this light being useful in just about any situation. It's so dang small, but it's so powerful and versatile. Look at all what it can do. Let's see how the red does. Does a really good job too. I can't believe flashlights are getting so much better. Just over time. So much technology is just adding to the efficiency and the usefulness of them. Wuben did a really good job on this. For being a prototype, hats off to him. I personally think that this is one of the coolest flashlights I've ever seen. I mean, it is so versatile, lightweight, and feature-packed. I mean, being able to charge it wirelessly is very cool all by itself, but then the swivel head and the glow-in-the-dark in the white version and the different lighting options, the LED display, the power bank charging box, it's all just a cool little package of a flashlight. But there are just a couple of things that concerns me, and one is the diffuser lid right here. It just seems a bit fragile, and I'm afraid that the little tab right there that keeps it closed might break, or perhaps even the hinges might break. Also, I think the lanyard looks pretty weak right here in the connector. This is very, very small and thin. I really hope that Wuben decides to beef this up a little bit just for keeping it secure. I'd hate for this thing to break and then you lose your awesome flashlight. Now, this is a prototype, and I will make sure that Wuben is aware of my concerns, along with any of your comments that you leave in this video. And speaking of which, another thing that I'm going to mention Wuben is that I really hope they make an X2 or even an X1 version of the X3. Now tell me in the comments below if you agree that that would be awesome. Otherwise, if you like good flashlights and you want one with just about every cool feature you can think of wrapped up into one that can fit in your pocket, the Wuben X3 Owl is a must-buy. As I release this, you can jump in on the Kickstarter deal right now. Just hit the links below in the description. The super early bird $49 discount is already gone. Everybody snatch that up. But as I make this video, there is still the regular early bird special where you can get it, the whole package, for $59, which is a very good deal since retail is expected to start at $89. And the aluminum charging box option is an additional $20 if you want that as well. Even though I have this prototype here, am still going to jump in on the Kickstarter deal so I get a full production version because, again, I really love this light. If this is after the Kickstarter campaign ends that you're watching this video, you can still get this awesome little gem of a flashlight directly from Wuben. Just, again, use the links in the description and use coupon code HLR10, and you can at least get a pretty nice 10% off your entire order. And if you like this video, using those links in the description to get yours helps out this channel at no additional cost or effort to you, so I really appreciate it. As always, thanks for watching this, and special thanks to Wuben for sending me this prototype to check out and bring the details to you. I'll be back soon with another flashlight review and test, so until then, consider subscribing and let me know your thoughts in the comments below.